Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am currently getting ready for the day. I have a meeting quickly, like briefly in the morning, and then I'm actually heading to the hospital. I'll get into that a little bit in this video because, as you can tell from the title, I kind of took a little break from social media. Not really on YouTube because I had previous content that was scheduled to go up, but I haven't actually filmed something in over 2 weeks, and it's just because we've been going through a lot with my family. If you watched my last vlog, which was the LA one / my mom's birthday, I did mention that my dad had like some back issues and he wasn't there in the video because he was upstairs, but I'm not gonna go into detail or anything, but he's been in the hospital now for what day is it today? Anyways, he's been in there for a little bit, and honestly it's been very stressful for my family, but thankfully things are looking good. We're kind of on the up and up. He seems healthy, and we're kind of just taking it day by day and praying and hoping that everything just continues to go smoothly. But I'm not gonna lie, like, it has not felt like a very nice holiday season. My mom and I were saying we just do not feel like we're in the Christmas spirit at all. It's because my dad has been suffering now for like a few weeks, so we've had to cancel a lot of like our Christmas events with the family. So now that he's finally like getting the proper care and somewhere where people are really taking care of him, it is like looking hopeful and looking really good. And yeah, I'm keeping a positive mindset on things. We got some really good news yesterday, so I just feel like I can breathe, you know? He's gonna be okay. We're all okay. Obviously, you could probably tell by my voice, it's very like emotional, and I'm trying really hard not to just like bawl my eyes out in this video. I'm very grateful for the community that I have that allows me to take the time that I need to be with family, and you guys know how much my dad means to me, and it's just been a lot the past like few weeks. Seeing a parent or anyone you love in a hospital setting, it's not fun, but I know like it's what he needs, and I know the staff there is incredible. Like I remember when I was pregnant with Arkham, and I was kind of at the hospital a lot more often than I normally am, and even when I delivered and all throughout like the pandemic and stuff, like everyone was just so nice. And when I was with my dad yesterday, the staff that was coming in to kind of help or to give lunch or to whatever, like they're just so nice. And for a place where the people are overworked like crazy and severely underpaid, I can't even understand or wrap my mind around the fact that these people are as happy and like helpful as they are. It's just like angels on earth, literally. Like if you are a nurse, thank you for what you do. Not just nurse, like anyone that works at a hospital, any person that I've encountered, that I've spoken to in the past few weeks, has just been so nice and reassuring and supportive. I'm extremely grateful for you guys. So just wanted to say that. I'm very emotional right now, as you can see, just because it is my dad, and like we know he's gonna be okay. Like things are good. Ball is kind of like in his court-ish of like following the steps of what the doctors are saying and listening to them and applying it to his life once he's out of the hospital, but we just don't know when that's going to be. Like we don't know if he's going to make it to our Christmas gathering on the 25th. That's kind of like his goal, but we just don't know how realistic that is. So I think after this video, and probably after our last podcast that's coming out this week, I'm just gonna take a break, like a full-on just social media detox. I did this last year for the Christmas break. I took 2 weeks off. I deleted the apps from my phone. Like I didn't even go on them to check stuff, and it was really nice. But I think I'm gonna do the same thing this year, maybe even a bit longer. I don't know. I'll be back in January, but I do still have sponsored content that I need to get done, contracts that I signed months ago that needs to get fulfilled, and I still do have a job. Obviously, I'm very grateful that I don't have to show up to work and like do a 9 to 5, and like because like, my mom has to do that, you know. My mom works and she's been taking a lot of time off and using her vacation hours and stuff, but I have the means to be able to take time and like go be with my dad and be there for him. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I know you guys are gonna completely understand, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for still supporting me and being there for me and my family during such a freaking stressful time. And it's like, of course, it's in like the holiday season, which actually might be a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because my parents do get a 2-week break since they both work in construction. There's the construction holiday, so my mom at least won't have to go into work for 2 weeks, and she can have the freedom. Like, my sister and I can help out and go to the hospital, and she can take time to just relax at home. She's been doing everything. It's like she was his nurse, she was his, obviously she's his wife and partner and everything, but I just like feel for my mom so much. And as much as I was worried for my dad, I was equally as worried for my mom, because she's helping him and dealing with him and living with all that stress, and it's just a lot for somebody. And you know, she is just so good. Like, when I was at the hospital yesterday, she ended up showing up, and she was like instantly just to his bed, like, let me help, let me do this. And it's just like, oh my god, you're actually an angel. I just freaking love you so much. I love my parents both so much, but it's just seeing them in that situation, I was just like, my heart grew and broke and grew and broke a million times over and over again. Anyways, I'm chatting enough about this now. I've literally been talking for 7 minutes, but I wanted to do a little bit of makeup because I wanted to just, you know what? It's not even about looks. It gives me some sort of control. It's something that I enjoy doing, so that's why I'm gonna do it, because I feel like I have no control in my life right now with things going on. I thought I would answer a few other questions I've been getting on social media. Obviously, the most popular one is like, hey, where are you? In the past, when I would take breaks or I would go, I would always explain where I was going. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna be gone for a little bit, or something's come up, but I won't, you know. And it took me years to be able to even do that. Like, I used to not even take breaks from social media, but this time I just kind of like vanished. And that was actually a goal of mine at the beginning of 2023, was like to not always have to have an excuse or a reason if I needed a break. But at the same time, like, it is my job still, and I do think it is worth mentioning what's going on. I don't have to give details or like talk about anything in specific, but I want to let you guys know what's up and like where I'm going. And if I'm going to be taking a break, you know, if I worked at an office job, I would have to tell my boss, hey, I'm going on vacation from this time to this time. So yeah, I just think you guys are like my family and friends, and I wish I could just openly talk about everything going on, but you know, I do want to keep, it's not me personally going through it. So I mean, yeah, I'm going through the motions of like everything, watching it and being stressed and sad and scared and whatever, but it's not me. So I don't want to just talk about details, because I just used to do that in the past, and it's just not a nice thing to do. And so I'm learning from my mistakes, and I'm gonna keep privacy, even though I know my dad literally would not care. I don't know, who knows in the future if he'll even want on the internet. And if I knew 100% that I could make sure everyone who's watching this is like a fan of ours and a good person, I would, but I just don't know who's watching, so that's the thing. But another big question I've been getting is what is going on with the basement renovations? If you don't remember from last year, we started renovating our basement. It's literally just a cement floor. We do have insulation and drywall on the outside walls of the basement, but there was no other walls. And so what we decided to do was kind of map out the basement, put up the walls, and just go from there. So a lot of you saw that because we were filming that. If you are curious, you can go watch those vlogs. I think they're just called like renovating our basement ourselves, and it's in the thumbnail, so you'll be able to see. But we put that on pause over the summer because it was summertime and we were so busy, and we're like, oh, we'll pick it back up in the fall. But then, as you know, as most of you know, Dan got injured. So he has been literally in some form of physical rehab for 3 months, and he's finally at the point where he is able to, like, he ran 8K yesterday, which he has not been able to run in so long. He's able to start biking again. It's actually incredible the progress he's made. I'm so proud of him, and he's also very proud of himself, because, you know, he was nervous. He was nervous that he was never going to be able to work out the same way again. I mean, like, he was very stressed about it, but thankfully, with the help of my best friend Catherine Shout out to her. She's an athletic therapist, so she really helped him. And then he was also seeing an osteopath, and both of them together, combined with the exercises and Dan really following it and changing his lifestyle in the sense of like not going so hard with certain things, like it just really helped. And we just needed to be patient, which was the hard part, because when you're used to living a certain way for so long and then you can't work out that same way. Like Dan was doing triathlons, he did a half Ironman, like he was very much in shape, and then all of a sudden he couldn't do anything. It's very hard on someone's mental health. So thankfully he took it like a champ, and I was just really trying to be there for him, and he is finally at a place now where he's seeing the progress, and he's like, frick yeah, you know, he's like so excited about it. So that being said, we couldn't do the basement because I don't know how to freaking use a saw and a drill. Like, you think I'm gonna make the basement? Look, please, I'm there to support Dan with if he needs me to give him things or like hold a piece in the place and he tells me where to hold it, or to film it. It's not, I'm not the one doing this stuff. So realistically, I should be calling the series like My Husband Renovates the Basement, but I am helping. I just can't do it. So I think during this break that I'm going to be taking and over the holidays, we're going to get a ton done, because he's already the past few nights been going and like finishing up all of the little framing we're doing around certain vents, and we're going to start the electrical, and we really want to get it done by the summertime because we want to have people come stay with us from out of town, and we want to be able to have the basement finished, because then they'll get like their own room and bathroom and place to kind of live. Right now we have our main bedroom, Arkham's bedroom, and the playroom. So yeah, technically they can stay, we can move all of his toys and they can stay there, but it would be really nice to have that space. Plus, when we go to our friend's house they renovated their basement, the kids just all go downstairs and play, and we just all hang out in the living room / kitchen, and it's just so nice to have that space. Now when we have Arkham's friends come over, they'll play upstairs, but they freaking destroy the upstairs. Like, they can't just stay in the playroom. It's like they're 3, so they just go crazy. Whereas I don't mind if they make a mess at the basement, because it's gonna be a basement. Make a mess, go crazy, we'll clean it once the kids are gone. But like upstairs, it's just a lot, and there's things everywhere and I get overwhelmed. So that is our goal, to have it completely finished by the summer. And I'm saying this because I want people to take my word for it and keep me accountable, because it's a lot. Another popular question that I've been getting is any updates with the fertility stuff, because I actually don't remember if I've spoken about this recently. I don't remember the last time I spoke about this, to be honest. Maybe I spoke about it recently, I don't know. I kind of forget where I say things now that there's a million platforms out there. I'm like, did I say this? Or was it to my friends in real life or family? Or was it online? Was it the podcast? Was it you? I don't freaking know. So I think the last time, if I did speak about it, we decided that we're not gonna go ahead with the frozen embryo transfer yet. I had my surgery done in July, and then I had a re-surgery done, not re-surgery. He went back in with a hysteroscopy in September to check on, if you don't know the story, you can literally go watch the video. I'll link it like here or down below. But he basically just went back in to check if he got the whole septum that he removed, and there was a little bit left over in September, so he removed the rest of that. And now we're just basically waiting for the follow-up hysteroscopy to check to make sure that everything else is gone. So even like without doing that, like he just said, you know, you don't have, like, you can continue trying naturally if you wanted to, but like don't do the frozen embryo transfer just yet. Like, let's make sure everything's fine. But because it's the holiday season, I honestly just think it's going to be January when I see him. So that is essentially the update on that. We do still have 2 healthy embryos. So we did pay, because it's like you pay for the year to keep them frozen. So since we got it done a year ago, we did IVF a year ago, it came up to like renew, so we just paid. And it's like such a weird thing that there's just like these little embryos that we created that are like these little like potential babies that are just frozen somewhere that are ours with our DNA. It's so freaky to think about. If you really think about it like that, it's like, oh my god, something that like, that's life. Oh, it's just such a crazy cool feeling to have. And I feel like if you haven't gone through some kind of infertility treatment like IVF or whatever, it's like hard to understand what that feels like, because even if you've been pregnant naturally or whatever, you're like, it's still cool, but like to have it on the outside of your body, like that they created it and then it's in this lab in this frozen thing, and then like eventually if they do put it inside of you, could be a baby that's going to be a human, that's going to be a person, is so wild to me. And what's even cooler is, since I have been watching for the past 2 years like infertility videos and just people's experiences and stuff, and I read the comments, there's a lot of people that will comment like, I was an IVF baby, and seeing how much you are trying for your future baby like makes me realize how much my parents wanted me and what they went through to have me here. And like that is like blows my mind. I know in the end it's like embryos are embryos, and whether they're in your body or outside of your body, it's like still an embryo that can turn into a baby. It's the same thing, but to have it outside of your body that could still be viable and grow into a human is like wild. And then the human is literally a person that has a conscience and thoughts and walks around and has a life, is like, oh my God, it's crazy. I do want to quickly talk about the sponsor for today's video, which is Thrive Cosmetics. I spoke about them a few videos ago. Their stuff is so good, and I just love the brand because they do give back, and with every purchase they do donate portions of that purchase to communities in need for different kinds of things. So I just really love them. I love the products. Specifically, my favorite one is their mascara. This mascara is so good because it makes it look like you have false lashes without wearing any falsies. It's called the liquid lash extensions for a reason. And what's also really great about this is the fact that it comes off with just water. You don't need soap or any kind of makeup remover. You literally just take a cotton or like a reusable pad, put it under some warm water, and just wipe it away, and it comes right off. These are the Brilliant Eye Brighteners. I got 2 shades. I do like this one for the inner corners and this one for the lid. This is great if you want to have somewhat of a smoky eye. And then I put this one on the inner corners to add a little bit of highlight, which is so nice. They're great stocking stuffers for this time of year. I'm literally gifting some of these to some friends. I have 2 lipsticks in 2 different shades. So if you want to give the gift of Thrive Cosmetics, a luxury beauty brand that gives back, all you have to do is go to my link, which is thrivecosmetics.com/AlexCentomo, to get 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/AlexCentomo for 20% off your first purchase. But let me just put this mascara on to show you how good it is. Honestly, that's just 1 coat. I like to add a little bit on the outer corner. Kind of brings my eye up like that, which I like. Opens it up a tiny bit. Another popular question that I have been getting a lot is, what is the deal with my future brand? I've mentioned it a lot in other videos, and things should be coming soon. I hate when people are like, I'm not talking about it, but I'm working on something. But like, I literally just don't want to give any dates, because realistically I've been working on this for 4 years, and actually more now. And if I would have said 4 years ago like, oh, I'm coming out with a little brand on this date, like, it wouldn't have happened. And here we are 5 years later, because there's so much that goes into starting a company, and it's so tough because there's like a lot of back and forth, a lot of money involved, a lot of stress, a lot of people changing their minds, mainly me on certain things, or just not getting the best vibe of things and not being 100% satisfied. And I'm not coming out with something until I am 100% satisfied, because that is something that I just want to put my foot down on. And I'm not necessarily a perfectionist in every sense of my life, but in something like this I am, because it's something I'm very passionate about, and I just want to make sure that it's the way I want it to be. So that is the update. I'm hoping for 2024, that is, you know, I'm not gonna say a date, but that is the plan, the goal, exactly what I would love. So stay tuned, because it is something I am so passionate about and so excited for. And I've hinted a little bit here and there. I don't know if anyone's caught on to it actually. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But I get very excited because we're kind of nearing the home stretch. And then lastly, I did see a DM the other day of like, how do you balance being social, like social life, and then working in social media and posting and getting content? Like, how do you balance that? And to be completely honest, not the greatest at doing that. I do struggle. I find I can't do both perfectly. So if I'm focusing more on one, the other suffers. For example, like, I mean, this is a different scenario because we're going through something kind of emotional with my family, but like, my energy is going into that plus being a mom. So like my energy is just focused on this. I just do not have energy for my job realistically, which I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do that. So like, I'm very blessed and very grateful that I do, but I just, you know, it comes at a cost, because when you are your own boss and you run your own business and you are like the CEO of your own company, if you're not working, you're not making money. And so that is a stress factor on it, because I'm just, yes, I'm lucky in the fact that I've been really good with my money and been really good with savings, but I'll probably, if I take a big enough break, will have to dip into those savings. So that's kind of the price that I have to pay, but it's like, well, that's what I'm gonna do, because I literally cannot, like, I need my energy to go here. So that's kind of like how I am. And even with friends and stuff, like I've been still seeing friends and doing things to get my mind off stuff, but I'm not filming it because I just want to be in the moment. And I used to film everything, and I just feel like as I've gotten older, I've really appreciated my privacy a lot more, and I really respect, although I'm so nosy, so when people are like more private, I'm like, give me something, like I will eat up all the crumbs. On the other end of things, like there's certain stuff that I just don't want to share online anymore, and that's totally okay. And like most people probably wouldn't share certain things either, so I just always remind myself of that, of like, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting older, and that's just normal. And if I do need to focus more on my friends, or if I'm on a trip and I'm with people and we're not getting content, like we're both not, like usually when I travel with my influencer friends, it's easier because we're all trying to get content. But if I'm traveling with people that don't do this and this is their vacation, I want to be there and be present and not be like, okay, well, hold on, can I just like get a photo here? Like, film this. I just, it's not about that. So even, you know, when I think back to my trip to Italy in 2015, it's one of my favorite vlogs ever. To this day, I watch it when I'm having anxiety. I went with my parents, my sister, and my cousin Sophia. So we were all so young. And we stayed in Sorrento, and we went to the Amalfi Coast and Rome. It was such a special trip, and I'm so glad I was in a point in my life where I was filming everything, because I literally filmed everything on that trip. And it's times like that where there's a little part of me that's like, oh, maybe I should film more because I want those memories. And it's like, Alex, no one's stopping you from filming. You can film everything, just don't post it online. Keep it as memories. And I don't know why that never occurred to me before, because in the past I was like, well, I'll just share because these are my friends and I love it and I'm excited. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want that on the internet, but I do really like having this as a memory, so I'm going to film it. So yes, I do still film a lot, I just don't post a lot. And even with TikTok, like I just don't want to be forcing myself when I'm not inspired or I'm not feeling it. So if I ever do get quiet on social media, it's because I'm just going through something, whether that's me personally or someone in my life, and I need to like kind of like now like step up and show up and be there for that person, then I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a step back. But I think that's kind of where I struggle, is that balance, but I'm getting better, and I'm very grateful that I like have the opportunity to even be able to do that. So I love this job. I love being a content creator. It's freaking hard at times, like I'm not gonna lie, and I don't want to sound tone deaf because I know there are way harder jobs. Trust me, I know most people have way harder jobs, but the hard part about it is like it's like being an author. When you're not inspired, it's hard to create. And then when it's your job, you're forced to create to make money. But if you're going through a rut, you're kind of like, crap, now I don't know what to post because I literally am not inspired right now, but I still have to do something. And that's where like everything gets muddled. And so I just told myself, I'm not gonna do that. If I'm not inspired, I'm not inspired. I'm not gonna post. Obviously, if there's certain contracts filmed, like let's say for example this video, like my original plan for this video was to do a vlog, and I had all these plans and things I wanted to do, but realistically I'm like, I am not really doing any of those things. I'm not feeling creative. I don't want to do any pretty scenic shots. I'm just gonna sit down and be honest and talk about what's going on in my life and give a little update, and that's all I can really do. But I'm grateful that I can do that every once in a while, because it does help me make my life a lot easier. You know, I only have one kid, so I know it's hard when people have multiple kids. And I do have a husband that's extremely helpful, like literally does the most. So I'm very lucky and blessed in many, many, many ways, but you know, it doesn't take away the fact that I still do find it hard at times, and the stress of being like the financial provider and wanting to make sure this is sustainable long term, and having goals and dreams of doing things with businesses and wanting to do them and investing and like all these things that I want to do that I need to be smart about. You know, I don't have that security of like having the 9 to 5 and having that yearly salary. And I was talking to my friend about this, and he literally looked at me and he said, dude, I have a 9 to 5 and I'm not even secure in that. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be laid off. And it just hit me, like, we all have our struggles, we all have our, I don't want to say insecurities, but nothing is certain in this life. So might as well do something that makes you happy. And if I'm able to continue making my passion my dream and my job, and I'm still so passionate about this and I freaking love it and I'm so grateful for it, like, why am I gonna stop just because people might judge it or people might think a certain way? I don't give a fuck. Like, the reason why I started doing this in the first place is because I wanted to do it, and trust me, everyone judged me. So that's not a reason for me to stop, and I don't think I ever will. Even if I did get another job or I did start another business and became like the CEO of this huge company and I was working like crazy and I didn't need sponsorships in order to live my life, I would not stop doing social media because I freaking love it. It would just take a lot more pressure off of like, I'm not relying on this for income, but at the same time, I don't know, like, there are certain times like throughout the summer and the fall, you guys could see, like, I was freaking living it up. I was so creative and I had so much inspiration and I was in such a good place. Like, I was working on my health, I was out doing a bunch of things, I was sharing stuff in like a very like private way. I don't know, I just felt very good about my content and like everything. Just, I felt like I was glowing from within and just really putting out that energy. And the past few weeks has obviously been the opposite, but I feel like I will get back to that point because everything ebbs and flows and it goes like this. And I remember last year in 2023 in January, I was like, this is a new year. 2022 sucked ass and 2023 is gonna be my year. And it freaking was. I got my life back on track and I feel so proud of myself for doing that. And I'm very, very like excited to know that if ever I go through a slump, kind of like now, I can get back to it. Doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, but I will get there, and I'm just like proud of myself. I want to give myself a big pat on my back because it's not easy. But yeah, I love you guys so much. You have no idea. If there's any other questions you have about something, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments, or you can DM me on Instagram. If there's any like advice you need, you can message us for the podcast and we'll probably do like an advice episode. And I love you guys so much. And I will see you all in 2024. So have a good rest of the year, everyone. I love you and see you next year. Ugh, I hate when people say that, but like, see you next year. Bye.